as I'm growing older, my characters need to kind of align with where I am in my life. So yeah, I mean, those will be my choices naturally. I'm not really trying to, I'm a 40-year-old actor today. I'm not really trying to push a young narrative to myself. I'm just trying to be an authentic actor.
I think you're the king of romantic comedies.
It's the hardest genre actually, because you usually don't have a character to hide behind. You have to reflect your own personality. I think the tricky thing about romantic comedies is you just have to find the right story, the characters, music. It's that celebration of love and comedy and emotions and drama, and it's very rare that a script comes to you which has all of that. That's why I didn't do it for a long time. I was always looking for a good romantic comedy, but I'm happy that Luv Ranjan came with this film.
Is it easier to act in one though? I just feel sometimes it's so much more easier to be that regular bloke.
Well, it's not, because especially when you've been working for now 15 years like I am, you're boring your personality becomes boring after a while, because you can't play the same guy over and over again. So you need something new in a romantic comedy. You need a new you need to react when you see the girl for the first time, the way you look at her. You can't have the same expressions, so you have to constantly reinvent yourself in the same genre. You have characters and you can play it with those with that lens. But with a romantic comedy, it's usually your personality, and you have to kind of really realign yourself and make it new and different.
Ranbir, I was very surprised when I learned that you had associated with Luv Ranjan. Somehow I didn't see you two together. Was it, did you guys also have that issue where you had to, it's a very unlikely pair?
I remember after I saw Pyar Ka Panchnama 2, I sent him a message saying that I really enjoyed your film and I would love to collaborate with you. And I've really not sent that message to anybody. And I don't, Luv Ranjan really had not made it by then, Sonu TT2 was not out. But somewhere, I liked his voice. I liked what he was saying. I liked his tone, his comedy. When we met, we were collaborating on another film. At that period, he narrated the idea of Tu Jhooti Main Makar to me. And I was somewhere, I think, deep down looking for a rom-com. It was a while since I did one, and it instantly kind of clicked with me. I loved what he was trying to say. I loved the fact that the feeling that the film was giving. I loved the character. So it was very instant for me.
How do you think romantic comedies have generally evolved over the years in Bollywood, and what changes have you seen along the way?
With every growing year and decade, life, movies, characters, they're only evolving. Yeah, the core remains the same. In a way, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge was a romantic comedy. I don't think Tu Jhooti Hai Makar is really referenced in any film that I have seen before. That I was willing to be a part of it. It's a very, very new concept. But like I say, the heart of it is very Indian. The heart of it is very desi. The trick about rom-coms is, apart from the characterizations that you're talking about, it's also that, there are certain Western influences, that you go to a foreign location, you have this Sleepless in Seattle means When Harry Met Sally kind of vibe going on. But I think, films like Jab We Met, films like Band Baja Barat really changed that, in making it more desi and making it more about our characters. So I really enjoyed those two rom-coms in the last, I guess, 15 years. And I think Tu Jhooti Mein Makar is also another original rom-com in that space. It's not really for template of either the rom-coms I've done or the rom-coms which have happened before.
Do you think finally this movie is that way adulting in Bollywood?
Well, I'm adulting, in my life, in a sense. As I'm growing older, my characters need to kind of align with where I am in my life. So yeah, those will be my choices naturally. I'm not really trying to, I'm a 40-year-old actor today. I'm not really trying to push a young narrative to myself. I'm just trying to be an authentic actor.
Ranbir, you had Brahmastra, so kind of puts you in a very solid position. I feel somewhere you have little less to lose, if I can say that. Somewhere you've kind of proved yourself. There's a box office hit behind you. Do you feel more confident with this film that this is not a hit or a hit or miss for you?
I think every day, in an actor's life, every release, it's like your first film. Because my last film is a hit. It's just in the period of your next film that you feel relieved, but by the time your next film is coming out, it's also stressful, because it's an industry where you have to constantly prove yourself every Friday. Before Pathaan released, People were questioning Shah Rukh Khan. I mean, like, who am I? So it's an industry that you cannot be cocky and overconfident and arrogant. You have to very humbly approach your work. You have to work very hard. You have to constantly reinvent yourself. Have something to say through the movies, because gone are the days that audiences just blindly coming to watch your film. You have to kind of sell them a hook or something to kind of get them to the theaters. And especially in the last 2-3 years, it's only become harder for the audience to come to the theater and watch your movies. So it's an everyday struggle. It's just because Brahmastra did well commercially, that doesn't necessarily guarantee success towards Jhuti Mein Makar.
You're an actor. If you play a serial killer, doesn't mean you're a serial killer. You know what I mean?
I absolutely agree. But here, I would like to share the blame with the members of the media. I think from film onwards, when Bachna Hasina came out, I think I got this tag of this casanova, and that kind of went on for a long period in my life. And now with Tu Jhuti Mein Makar, there is a song which I'm singing called Pyar Hota Kai Baar Hai. And a lot of people are thinking that's my biopic, and that is something that I am celebrating my life, but it's nothing of that kind. So you've got to separate the art from the artist. We are just playing parts, we're playing characters on screen, and that necessarily doesn't really reflect who you are as a person. But having said that, the part I'm playing in this film, Mickey, into Jhuti Mein Makar, he's somebody who it's a character that probably I would like to aspire to become in my life. When you see the film, you'll understand that. I believe in his value system. I believe in his morals. I believe in his Makari also. So it's a character that definitely I would like to take home with me.
There's always that infamous monologue that seems to be happening. I feel that's what Luv Ranjan, I think it's a signature, right? He just makes you guys by heart lines, and then is that easy to pull off?
Not at all, because there is a rhythm and tone to the dialogues. Luv Ranjan is actually a dialogue writer. That's his specialty, and he likes his dialogue in a certain rhythm, in a certain tone. He writes these long ass monologues where you cannot take a breath and you cannot blink your eye. So that really requires another form of art, and it took me a while to really kind of get that. I think his collaboration with his previous actors, with Karthik and Nusrat and all the other actors he worked with, they really got that tone very well. But it took me a while, it took me a while to understand it and to kind of play it. But once you do it, it's a lot of fun because it's very musical, it seems frivolous and it seems like funny and all, but there is a lot of musicality to how you play it as an actor.
Are you very, very instinctive as actor? I feel you're a natural. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
I work very hard. But I think I've said this before to you also. For me, it's always been, 6 months before I start the film, I start romantically courting the director, where we both start going on dates and really getting to know each other deeply, so right. We form a trust, we form an understanding, and it also helps me a lot to really understand the director's mind and the text and what he's trying to say through the movies or through the movie that he's making. So that 6-month process is really my prep period, and then on set, we just kind of flow with it.
Did you have discussions with your director on how the women and the men are portrayed in this film?
I would like to say that I'm a very I would say responsible actor. Like, I would not necessarily take on a part which demeans anybody or demeans any standing of any kind. So that's not the kind of movies and that's not the kind of art I believe in. So Tu Jhuti Mein Makar is definitely not in that world.
Are you an incurable romantic, or do you go for the vanilla ones, or not so vanilla ones?
In life, I think no. I'm very balanced. I believe in opening the door for the girl. I believe in certain old school
chivalry. Yeah, well done, you.
But in movies, I like all kinds of movies. If it's dark, if it's frivolous, if it's if it's the Rohit Shetty cinema, if it's the Sanjay Bansali, Rajamouli cinema. I just have an appetite for all kinds of films, and especially with where Indian cinema is right now. We really with our backs towards the wall, because the audiences are not that forgiving anymore. So you have to constantly give them something new. You have to give them something challenging, something entertaining. And it's people say it's a hard time, but I think it's also a very necessary time in Indian cinema.
Which are your romantic comedies that you always go to, or if you do? If you don't, we don't judge you.
Romantic, yes, definitely. I would like to believe that. I feel romance is really It's food for the soul. I've always believed that. And I think romance not just with your partner, it could be with an animal, it could be with your child, it could be with your mother. You have to romance everything in life. And my go-to romantic films, I would overseas. I really like this cheesy film called Serendipity. I like When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle. In the Hindi ones, I love Jab We Met, Band Baja Bharat, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, the OG of romantic comedies. Hum Tum, Salam Namaste. Yeah, all of that.